What's up, guys? Lee Perkins here. We've got a special show for you today, and it actually wasn't supposed to be a podcast. It was originally a Zoom call that we re-recorded, and then we posted to our YouTube page. But after we did this, I thought it would be a pretty good idea to use this as a podcast as well. So today's show is actually an interview that I did recently with Keith Dykes. He's the newest member of our team. Now, Keith is an advisor with our firm, and I did the interview really to give people the opportunity to learn a little bit more about him, his background, his family, and why he chose to join our firm. So he's been a great addition to our financial planning team, and I hope you enjoy the conversation. So without further delay, my conversation with Keith Dykes.
Welcome to the My Retirement Clarity Podcast, where our goal is simple: to help you close the gap between what you know and what you implement. The team at JL Perkins Wealth Management does this by helping good people make great decisions so they can enjoy an amazing retirement. And now, here's your host and financial advisor, Lee Perkins.
I wanted to do a quick video here for everybody to really kind of get to know Keith Dykes a little bit. Many of you have already met him at some of the client events that we've done. And a lot of you have met him as you come here into the office. And so really the purpose of this video today is just to kind of introduce Keith to those of you who may not know him already. And the whole reason that, and people ask me, well, hey Lee, well, why did you hire somebody else? Well, I wanted to increase the capacity of our team to help more people and also to better serve the clients that we have. Of course, we've added another team member. Kat Croker is sitting up front where Tracy used to sit. Tracy's now in the back of the office. And so at some point we'll do another video to introduce Tracy, introduce Kat to the team. But today this is all about Keith, and we're going to get to know him a little bit and jump in here today. Keith, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Lee. How about yourself?
Good, man. Is this awkward? We are sitting in our own offices looking at the cameras on our own desk here. And so kind of give a little bit of introduction to Keith. I've known Keith for, how long have we known each other? Probably 7 or 8 years.
At least a dozen years. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Because the first time we met, I did a Financial Peace University class at our church. And so we've gone to church since then. Keith and his wife, Lisa, came to that. And they've been clients now for 3 or 4 years. So it's been really, really good. I actually, when I was looking for, kind of put the ad out looking for an advisor, Keith sent me a text and said, I see you're looking for an advisor. And I said, hey, do you know somebody? And he said, maybe me. And I hadn't really given that thought before because, Keith's kind of been in his own career path, and we met for lunch and here we are. So anyway, kind of to give people just a little bit of an introduction for you. I mean, you're a family guy, and I know your family is extremely important to you. So why don't we just start off there? You just kind of tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about your family.
Yeah. So you've already mentioned Lisa. Lisa's my wife, and we've been married for 24 years now this May. So married to Lisa for 24 years. We've got 2 daughters, Ashlyn and Avery. Ashlyn just graduated from ACE, and she'll be going off to Samford in Birmingham this fall. We're really excited about that. And Avery just finished her sophomore year at ACE. And so she's still got a couple more years in the nest. And we're looking forward to being able to spend some one-on-one time with her.
Got it. So how did she wind up? What was the decision to go to Samford? I know it's a pretty popular school.
Samford really wasn't on our radar. I mean, nothing wrong with private school, but we just always kind of consider ourselves kind of public school people. And of course, Lisa and I both went to University of Georgia. That's where we met, and that's where Ashlyn, that was her first choice. And so she did get in Georgia, and then she thought about Alabama. She got in Alabama and Auburn as well, but she got out-of-state tuition there. And make a long story short, she wound up getting a pretty good scholarship to Samford, which made it affordable. Still not necessarily inexpensive, but it made it attainable. And she really wanted to go off to school to be more independent, and we support her on that. So we're really excited for it.
Yeah, that's cool. And kind of doing the math, you got your youngest is going to be in a rising junior.
Correct. Yes.
All right. So at some point you're going to have 2 kids in college at the same time. And so you got to figure out how to do that. Maybe she'll go somewhere in state. So cool. Well, you grew up in Cochran, Georgia. Tell me a little bit about life in the big city of Cochran, Georgia, and how you wound up with a girl from West Virginia.
Yeah, well, I'm a Dykes from Cochran. So if any of y'all know a Dykes out there, if they're not originally from Cochran, their roots are pretty much from Cochran. So
Right.
Cochran's just your typical small agricultural town, not that dissimilar from Macon. We came to Macon to come out on the weekends, go shopping, of course, at the old Macon Mall, and take our dates here to the movies and things like that. It's just
So there was no mall in Cochran.
No, a lot of dirt roads. That's about it. So, but it was a wonderful place to grow up. Filled with friends and family and church, and a lot of riding bikes as a kid all over the neighborhoods, as a lot of us did back in the 80s and 90s. As far as how I met Lisa, being from West Virginia, we met at University of Georgia.
Okay.
She's a couple years younger than I am, but we were both pretty heavily involved with then it was referred to as the Baptist Student Union. Now I think it's, I'm not even sure what they call it now, but still the same organization with a different name. And but we met there and started dating. That's how it happened. So.
I got you. All right. So you went to Georgia, graduated from Georgia with a degree in agronomy. Now, until I met you, I'd never heard of anybody with a degree in agronomy. So how did you wind up with that degree? And then if you weren't a financial planner now, what would you be doing with an agronomy degree?
Yeah, I like to tell people I'm a scientist because I have an agronomy degree, which if you don't know, agronomy is the science of agriculture. So sometimes now they refer to it as crop science. But so I got into that. I was a business major at Middle Georgia College. I went my first 2 years there. Only grew up about a quarter mile from Middle Georgia. And I was a business major. And in the summer, I started working out in the cotton fields, scouting cotton, which just meant that we walked the fields and looked for pests, bollworms and stink bugs and things like that could affect the crops, because it was about the highest paying job you could get as a young guy. Not too many people want to walk out in the hot fields at 98 degrees, probably 15 miles a day from sun up to 9 o'clock at night. So it was a good opportunity to make money. And my brother was at Georgia majoring in the same thing. And so I kind of followed my brother into it.
Gotcha.
As far as what I'd be doing, that's a good question. What I wanted to do with it was to become like a chemical sales rep for an agrochemical company. But as fate would have it, I graduated at just the wrong time, and the whole industry was undergoing a consolidation period, and all the big companies were merging, Bayer and all these big companies. And so there were mirrored positions all over the country, and they were letting people go left and right. So I went to work in horticulture, which is, different degree, but they accepted me over there. And I had a good few years working in horticulture, and that was fun.
Hey folks, Lee Perkins here. I wanted to tell you about our brand new book called Next Phase, How to Retire in a Year or Less Without Regrets. It's all about helping you prepare for the next phase of your life, whatever that looks like for you. So, if you're ready to make the most of your next phase, or if you're already retired and aren't sure you're doing all you can to get the most out of your retirement, then you'll want a copy of this book. All you have to do is text Next Phase to 478-475-2050, and we'll send you a copy right away. You can also access additional resources and register for one of our upcoming workshops at our website, www.myretirementclarity.com. Thanks for listening. Now back to the show. Let's transition maybe a little bit about what you've been doing since you joined our firm. I guess back in November, early November is when you started here. What have you been doing? How you been spending your time since you've been here? Just kind of let folks know kind of what that looks like.
Sure. Yeah. So it's been a fun and interesting time since I started. Basically, for the most part, I've been shadowing you, Lee, in most of your meetings. I haven't even kept count, but probably maybe
a bunch
meetings.
Of them. Yeah.
A lot of meetings. When I came on board, we were in the period where we do a lot of our review meetings for existing clients, and so I got to meet quite a few. And then, of course, Cake Day was right around the corner, and got to meet a lot of you guys here at Cake Day. And then, of course, we had Galentine's event too, and I met some more. But I've been shadowing you doing that, and then I've been doing making a lot of the financial plans for potential new clients coming on board, working in our software, kind of learning that. And it's a software we call Right Capital, but it puts everybody's numbers in there, and I'm able to kind of see what their big picture looks in the moment and into the future, into retirement, to see where there might be some gaps and some issues that we can help our clients address. So that's really what I've been doing with my time, Lee.
Yeah, you've actually become probably more proficient in Right Capital than I have, since you've been sort of handling a lot of those things since then. So that's good. What do you think has been maybe the most challenging thing that you've faced since you've been here, 6-7 months or whatever it's been? What's kind of been a real challenge for you?
Sure. Well, two things. First off, just getting licensed, right? So as financial advisors and professionals, we're required to meet certain state and federal regulations, and so I had to pass my securities exam, which was challenging. I mean, it's you got to read a 600-page book, and there's a lot of specific rules that you have to learn, and guidelines and things to go by. And I graduated college in 1998, so it's been quite a while since I've had to kind of study to that extent, and so it took me a little while to kind of get that going again. But once I locked in, it was not too bad, and fortunately was able to pass both those exams, both my securities exam and my insurance exam, on the first try, which was that was definitely a load off my shoulders.
Yeah, really. Let me jump in and say something there. Not a lot of people pass it on their first try. Sometimes it takes 2 and 3 times. Keith passed it on his first try. Of course, I did too. But there's some really good advisors that took 3 or 4 times to do, but it's a pretty rigorous exam. And I even debated, Keith, when I was looking at hiring somebody, do I hire somebody that's fresh out of college, that's already licensed, and maybe they've been in the business for a year or 2, but they're 26 or 27, and they may not have a whole lot of life experience. And so what made me sort of interested in you as an advisor, I was like, this guy's got tons of life experience. He's married. He's got kids. He's made money, and he just has a better understanding of life than somebody who's 25 or 26 and doesn't have that life experience. So that's why I reached out to you. But I'm glad you sort of relearned how to figure out how to study, because if I had to take an exam like that, it'll be tough. It'll be a big learning curve.
Yeah, it was challenging. I would say the second thing maybe is just, we've got a lot of clients, and which I've enjoyed meeting the ones I have, and there's still a lot that I haven't. But, trying to put names with faces and remember everybody when you're meeting so many people in such a short period of time and talking with so many people, that's been a little bit of a challenge. I'm good with faces. Sometimes I struggle with names, but, that's been a little challenging. But, of course, that'll get easier and easier over time the more interactions I have with our clients. So
yeah, it does. And I wish we had a way to just take a picture of our clients. I'm sure we could probably do it. I've just never done it. Take a picture of our clients, put it in our CRM, so that when somebody, a new team member comes in, they recognize the face and they can put it with a name. But anyway, we'll do that
for another day.
Yeah, another project for another day. So maybe another question here, what has worked out sort of for you that's been maybe an easier transition, or something that was maybe better than you thought it would? Anything come to mind?
Well, I think the whole process, you mentioned kind of my work experience. I mean, I've got quite a varied work experience. I mean, I'm definitely your stereotypical jack of all trades kind of person. You mentioned my agronomy degree, but I've had my own insurance agency. I used to own a handful of H&R blocks. So I've been in the tax industry. I've been a small business owner in retail sales. And so, I've done a lot of different things. And I think all that life experience and just general business knowledge in terms of taxes and risk management with insurance has really helped me make the transition a lot easier. I had to learn some of the specific things about, investing and some of those things, and maybe some of the some of the terminology that I didn't know, but I really think our processes that you've created over the years have made it really easy for me to follow. So, I mentioned before, I sat in on a ton of meetings, and you really have a structured process for our clients to walk them through their retirement journey. And I think those processes have really helped me to kind of shorten that learning curve. So,
yeah. And the whole, our main priority is to take care of our clients. And because we have that process, Keith has seen me do that with all of our clients. And so he's, of course, completely able to do that. And when I was looking for somebody, one of the main things that I was looking for was somebody that sort of had that's got the same values as me and Tracy and Donna. We want to make sure that everybody that's on our team, as it expands, shares the same value, and that way I don't have to worry about if somebody's taking care of one of our clients. So, and I've got full confidence that you'll be able to do that going forward. So excited to see what kind of your next phase here looks like. So speaking of that, what are you sort of looking forward to maybe over the next year or so here at the office? Anything there come to mind?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, I met a lot of the clients. I've been talking with a lot more on the phone. I'll be reaching out to some more of y'all as time passes and introducing myself and that sort of thing, helping you out when you call into the office. But really just continuing to meet our existing clients is number one. I love sitting in review meetings, and, it's a lot of fun sitting there and just sharing life with our clients, hearing them talk about the trips that they've gone on recently and where they've been, or trips with the grandkids that they've been able to, use the money that they've been investing and growing, and be able to use it towards spending time, making memories with their loved ones. I'd say that's probably number one. And number two, I've reached a point in the process where I've started presenting some at our workshops, a portion of our presentation. And also starting to bring on more client families, meeting on my own with some clients or potential clients, bringing them on board, and just helping them to kind of have the same kind of success in this retirement journey that your existing clients have been enjoying for years. So
exactly, yeah. So Keith and I had a meeting this morning with somebody, and we asked him what the purpose of the money was. And he said, I don't really have plans to spend it. I just want to grow it. And so I sort of challenged the guy. I was like, man, there's no reason he worked 40 years at a place. There's no reason for you to have saved all this money and then never spend it. So when he comes on board and becomes a client, we're going to try to encourage him to spend money and enjoy it. Because just like Keith said, it's fun to watch our clients enjoy retirement and sort of give them permission to spend their money. Because sometimes, y'all know, if you're listening here, sometimes you don't want to spend the money, but if it's there and we've done the math, which we do, we want to make sure we give everybody the permission to spend money. So just kind of a side note there. I guess, Keith, as we wrap up here, anything else you want to say as we close up here? We didn't close today. We didn't want to take up too much time in this video, but anything you want to say?
Not a whole lot, Lee, just that I've enjoyed my time so far. It's been a quick 7+ months now, and kind of
time flies when you have fun, right?
yeah. And now the real work begins. So kind of taking the training wheels, quote unquote, training wheels off a little bit, as I've kind of got to see the gamut of what we do here, and started to do more and more of that. So really just looking forward to meeting more, again, like I said, meeting more of our clients and helping them and plan and enjoy their retirement. So
yep, absolutely. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you jumping on today. Maybe in the future we'll do something else as other topics come up, or maybe even introduce some of the other team members as we grow this thing out. So thank you, guys. Thanks to every client who's tuned in to watch this today. Appreciate it. And as always, if you need anything, feel free to reach out to us and give our office a call. So that's it. Have a good rest of the day. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Hey there, Lee Perkins here. If you're like a lot of folks, you've been listening to this podcast for a long time now, but I've got an important question for you. Have you implemented any of the ideas that we've discussed on the show? If you haven't, what are you waiting on? You know you're not getting any younger, so here's my challenge. Don't just consume the content. Our number one goal for this podcast is to help you close the gap between what you know and what you implement. So if you're ready to implement, take that first step today and visit www.talkwithjlp.com and schedule a 15-minute phone call with one of our advisors, and we'll help you close the gap between what you know and what you implement so you can enjoy the next phase of your life. Now is your time. Don't procrastinate any longer.
Investment advisory services are offered by JL Perkins Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor and insurance agency. Information is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute tax, legal, or investment advice. Always consult with a qualified tax, legal, or investment professional before taking any action.